What is going on, guys? My name is Wolf Sickness and welcome everybody to another video of mine. So today is the day, guys, that I'm going to be showing you the best settings for Call of Duty Cold War. So without second thought, let's get straight into this, shall we? So obviously, first of all, we're just going to go right down to settings down here and go straight into the graphics tab. So first of all, we do want to make sure you are in full screen. Reason for this, you get a little bit more FPS compared to the actual windowed full screen, and you get less input delay, what is a major one. Obviously, monitor, put that to 1. Refresh rate, put that to your highest 1, because obviously you don't want to be playing at like 60 Hz when you have a 144 Hz monitor. Doesn't really make sense, does it? Make sure VSync for gameplay and menu is both disabled, because it does not help at all, trust me. If you really want to limit your frames, then there is literally a limiter just down here. But yeah, render resolution, make sure that is display resolution, everything is to your monitor. So I have a 1080p 144 Hz monitor. So yeah, I just keep it at 1080p. But basically just keep it to your highest. But if you can't run the game at that, then just turn it down. Trust me, just turn it down. Or change your render resolution. Aspect ratio, make sure that is automatic, because that will obviously keep it from 16:9. That is a normal monitor, but some have like ultra wides, what do look pretty cool. So the next settings I do use is my field of view. So I have 120 just so I can see everything in the map. Let's say if I had, for example, 80, then I would be able to see most things. They would be a little bit closer, but let's say if something goes on my right hand side, I'll be like, oh, I did not even know that was there. So yeah, and then ADS field of view, basically the same kind of thing. So if I do change it to independent, basically it will go down to the default when you're zooming in. So if I zoom in, then my field of view won't be 120. It will be about 60, I think it is. Yeah, the lowest you can go is 60. So I make sure it's unaffected, because then obviously I'm just going to keep my field of view when I'm zooming in to affected, like 120. Also, it feels like there's less recoil when I have affected. It's really weird, but you know, it works. Framerate limit, make sure that's on unlimited to make sure that you have less input delay. It's absolutely amazing, this feature. So yeah, these are the textures now. So make sure texture quality is on high. It affects the VRAM, as you can see right there, but as long as you have more than 4 GB of VRAM, then you should be all good, no stutters or anything. Model quality, make sure that is too high. As you can see, there is like, unless you're literally staring at stuff, but to be fair, that is the highest setting as it is. I do not download HD game textures and models, because that is probably going to set your game to like 4K, 8K, something like that, and obviously that's going to drop you frames. So special effects qualities, make sure to set that to medium, as it says, such as fire, and obviously that is going to just set your FPS just so low. Just don't do it, honestly. So yeah, so screen space reflection, as you can see, basically it's just reflections of stuff. I mean, it does look pretty cool, but when you're in the heat of battle, who's really looking at the floor for some shadows, you know, or some reflections? Object view distance, so the difference between high and low in like actual looking at the game, there is no difference. So obviously Call of Duty maps aren't huge like Battlefield, even on the ground war maps, like, but yeah, so low versus the highest one, so high, there's no difference like in actual thing. Water tessellation, water can reduce frame rate by quite a lot depending on map you're playing on, so I'd recommend to disable that. So volumetric lighting, make sure that is on low, because obviously just shadows and lighting just kills frame rates, honestly, and it's not worth it unless you're after that eye candy. But why are you playing like a first person shooter game with that, you know? Shadow quality, make sure that is on low, because if you have it any higher than even medium, it's just going to kill your frames, honestly. Dynamic shadows, you can see a difference, but when you're in the heat of battle, as I did say, there's no difference. So make sure that is disabled. Special effect shadows, I mean, it does look pretty damn awesome, the screenshot on the right hand side, but in the heat of battle, as I have said a million times, can't see a difference, honestly. So just make sure you have that as disabled compared to enabled. Weapon shadow, keep that disabled. It's basically just shadows on your own weapon. Scroll all the way down. Anti-aliasing, I always keep this on high, just because anti-aliasing, it look like if you're not using a 1080p monitor, then anti-aliasing isn't really needed. Anything higher than 1440p, I guess you could use low. And as you can see, high is equal to SMAA2TX, and that is exactly what I use on Call of Duty Modern Warfare as well. Ambient occlusion quality, I make sure that is on disabled, as there's no difference basically into like the human eye personally. Motion blur, I have disabled that because obviously if everything's blurry, how are you supposed to see the enemy, you know? Motion blur quality, obviously it's on low just because it's disabled anyway, so it's not making a difference one bit. Subsurface scattering, I disabled that. As you can see, it's making no difference at all. Order independency, transparency, however you say that, it doesn't, like, it's just glass basically, and most of the glass is actually shattered when you're playing the game anyway. If you're lagging or anything, then make sure you do set your VRAM usage target to high, but I just keep mine for default because I have never had any crashes or anything like that. But yeah, if you're experiencing like low FPS or anything like that, or if you're running too many programs in the background, then make sure to put that as high. But if you are crashing, then put it back to default or even low. Make sure you're on sRGB, and make sure your actual like display adapter, like your graphics card, is being used. And for my audio, I make sure everything is on 100 apart from music volume, because obviously it might be a copyrighted music, so we don't want that, do we? But yeah, guys, that is about the end of the video. It was just a quick breakdown of my like actual settings for best frame rate. We are going to now put on gameplay on the screen right this second of how much FPS and like what exactly I'm doing in the game, of like the settings basically. So obviously you can see what the game looks like. You can see how much FPS and stuff I'm getting. This is the first time I've ever launched this game before, so sorry if I do suck at this game. But yeah, I hope that you enjoy the rest of the video. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. My name is Wolfsickness. You got me absolutely awesome. Peace out. Much love. Hopefully this has helped you in one way or another. If you are struggling on getting FPS, like compared to the FPS I have, because I've got a 3600 XT and a Vega 64. But if you aren't getting the FPS that you need, make sure you quote down like in the comments your CPU, your GPU, and your RAM. But yes, as I did say, guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Wolfsickness. You got me absolutely awesome. Make sure to comment down below if you have any issues. Like the video if you haven't already. And subscribe if you're new around here, because we're on our way to 10,000 subscribers. It's getting closer every single day. But yes, thank you guys for watching. Peace out. Much love. Have a good one, guys. Dab out.